All right, welcome to lesson 12, video 2 of course module number 5. And I said we were going to jump into number 1 in your book, but before we do that, let's just look at this variety of area models and what numbers do these area models represent. Please look at them now. Sorry, need to get them a little bit more on screen. There we go. Look at them now and think about what are the numbers that are being multiplied together. What are the multiples here? If you're thinking 3 4/5 times 2, 3 4/5 times 2, 3 4/5 times 2, 3 4/5 times 2, if you're thinking that they all represent 3 4/5 times 2, you're exactly correct. Congratulations. This is just to illustrate that you can draw an area model however you want. All right, so you can have the whole number and the fraction here multiplied by the whole number, the fraction and then the whole number and the fraction, right? However you want, as long as you know 3 4/5, 3 4/5, 3 4/5, 3 4/5, right? Those two have to be on the same side, and then the 2 has to be on the opposite side. It would be the same number with, the same way with the whole numbers that we were looking at. You could have the 4 and the 30, or you could have the 4 and the 30 over here in any order you want. Like here, how you have the 20 below and the 6 on the top, you could have the 20 on the top and the 6, as long as they're on the same side, right? Because when we're thinking area, we're thinking about this side times this side, right? Basically, but like we said before, you can switch those two, but you do have to make sure that it comes together, the 20 and the 6 and the 30 and the 4, because it's 34 and 26. Okay, so just wanted to show that to you so you can see that there are different ways that you can do the area model. In this case, we have whole number, and fraction, right? Okay, so here's number 1 in your book, and it says use an area model to multiply. So we are working on our area models. You are expected to do an area model when you're asked to do an area model. So let's do an area model. All right, and we already have the 1 here, so I'm just gonna, even though my space is gonna be a little bit larger, I'm gonna just put my 2/3 here, and then I'm gonna put my 3/4 down here. Just gonna take my 3/4 and say you're down there, my 2 is up here, my 1 is here, and my 2/3 is there. Okay, hopefully that's not too confusing for you. And then I need to multiply, right? So here I have my 1 times 2, right? 1 times 2 is 2. And then this is my 3/4. I'm just going to write it down here again so that it's a little easier to see. And 2/3. So now I have my 2/3 and my 2, right? Remember how I said before we can do it with our fingers, we can do it with lines. So 1 times 2, and then 2/3 times 2. So 2/3 times 2 is like double 2/3, right? I'm going to give you 2/3 of my candy bar, and then I'm going to give you 2/3 of my sister's candy bar. So you're getting 4/3 of candy bars, right? Remember, we're keeping the thirds the way it is. It's like we're multiplying by a whole number, okay? So we want to put the 1 underneath there to make sure that we know it's a whole number. It's double this, okay? And then 1 times 3/4, and then 2/3 times 3/4. So that would be 6/12. Now in this case, I am going to multiply my denominators together because I'm not multiplying by a whole number, right? I kind of could multiply, right? 1 times 3. I'm keeping it the same as basically what I'm thinking because it's by a whole number, 2 of those. Okay, and then these are my partial products. So now I need to take all of my partial products and I need to put them all together, right? So 2 plus 3/4 plus 4/3 plus 6/12. Well, that is a lot of adding fractions together, isn't it? Yes. Is that an important part of this step? Well, yeah, it actually is, right? But you might notice fourths and thirds and twelfths. Can I change them all to twelfths? Remember, because when I add fractions, I have to have the same denominator. So I'm going to change this to twelfths. So 3/4 times 3/3 equals 9/12. And I'm going to change this to twelfths. So 4/3 times 4/4 equals 16/12. This one already is twelfths, and this is a whole number. So now I have 9 plus 16 plus 6. And we definitely want to add that together and make sure that we add it correctly. 6 and 6 is 12. 12 plus 10 would be 22, but it's 12 plus 9, so that's 21. So that's 31, 2 and 31/12, right? This was to show this math for this, so try to keep it from getting too busy there. Okay, now 31/12, that would be an improper fraction, yeah? Okay, so I want to think, how many times does 12 fit into 31? 12, 24, right? 36 would be too many, so that would be 2. And then 31 minus 24. Why am I subtracting 24? Because I took away 2, right? So this would be like 12 12s plus 12 12s. You see that? 31 12s is equal to 12 24. Now what's going to be left? 7 7, right? So this is 2 and 7/12 plus 2. So it's going to be 4 and 7/12. Ooh, that was a lot of work. What are the benefits of doing this by area model? How is this helpful? Does it help you to see it? Does it help you to break it apart? Does it help you to do it this way? Because there is another way that maybe you're thinking about, right? That might be a little bit easier. What if instead of doing 1 2/3 times 2 3/4, what if I did 5/3 times 11/4? Would that be easier? Do you see how they're related there? 5/3 is the same as 1 2/3, and 11/4 is the same as 2 3/4. This is the improper fraction, right? And to go from a mixed number to an improper fraction, here's one way to do it. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 3 is 11. Okay? So you can do it that way, or you can think 2 is 4/4 plus 4/4. That's 8/4 plus 3/4, and that's 11/4. See how I broke it? Right? Because our 4/4 are 1 and 1, which makes 2. Okay? And then 1 2/3 is the same as 5/3. So could I just do 5/3 times 11/4? Because I can multiply straight across, so that would be 55/12. And then 55/12 is the same as 4 7/12, right? I was just trying to save time, not do this into the mixed number, But we could think, how many times does 12 fit into 55? 4 times. 48. 7 left over. 4 and 7/12. 4 and 7/12. Okay? So you can think about which one to do the best. We're going to be thinking about that, and we meet on our next video for video number 3, and we're going to be choosing which method we like to use. Okay? See you there. Aloha.